another episode of your favorite podcast, Beards and Bitcoins, a crypto podcast for the man's man and the ladies who love them. As always, I am your co-host, BitBoy Crypto, joined by my compadre, my partner in crime, but not financial crimes, Jay Chains. What is going on, J-Dog?
Another day in the life, man. Living the dream, living the nightmare, doing it all.
It's definitely feeling a lot more like a dream than a nightmare today. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. I think everyone was pleasantly surprised to wake up and see the state of the markets. We're seeing green candles, which I don't think we've seen in a while like this. So it's very exciting.
Just pierced 8,600 at the time of this recording, by the way.
We were talking just a few minutes ago, like before we started recording, and I think we were still in the 84s. So it's a good feeling. It puts a smile on your face. Let me tell you.
So hopefully by the time everybody's listening to this, we're still ripping and we're still going up. So it's good. We're leading up to the Bitcoin halving. We're not too far away from that. Just a matter of weeks now, less than 2 weeks until the halving, and we're starting to get some excitement. Bitcoin, Ethereum, both of them are absolutely pumping, doing great. We talked about last week. You had can we be honest with the audience here, Jay, for just a second?
Yeah, let's do it. I think full transparency is good.
Let's tell them about your little fumble you had with your stablecoin fiasco. I think this is important for the audience to understand.
It's an important lesson. It's an important lesson, one of greed, one of paying attention, one of doing your research and kind of learning the market conditions. So I was going to buy a motorcycle. I ended up it got sold underneath me. Some guy, whatever. That's beside the point. But in order to do so, I was going to sell some Bitcoin to buy the bike. Ended up not. So I was going to buy the Bitcoin back. I'm literally in the middle of all of this is when it went from like 70 or like 69 or 70 or 7,000, like up to 7,500, like in the blink of an eye. So immediately I'm like, shoot, I just lost out on some sats. It's okay. I'll get it. So I tethered off waiting for it to get back to where it needed to be. Well, long story short, it never really got back to the entry that I wanted. But yesterday early, I did market buy back in. Again, I lost a bunch of sats of what I had previously, but I'm back in the game. So don't flip and try to scoop if you don't know what you're doing.
And this is something I tell my audience on my channel all the time is a lot of people have this idea that, you're going to get out of a position and get into a stable coin or whatever. But the truth is that most of the time when you're making those moves, the market is kind of anticipating those moves. Because as a retail investor, I mean, you're really just flying by the seat of your pants, doing what you think somebody else tells you should, or you're watching a chart, whatever it may be. You don't have the money to move the market. So when the price goes down, in a lot of ways, it's just better to hodl through it and let it go up if you don't really, really know what you're doing. Because when you're feeling FOMO and you're wanting to jump in, that's usually a good sign that the market's about to go down. And when you're feeling scared and you want to jump out, that's usually a good sign the market's about to go up because it does the opposite of what retail investors, think it's going to do all the time.
Absolutely. And, and again, I know better. I've been in this position, maybe not with this kind of amount before. But I know myself, I'm a bad trader. I'm when I start doing stuff like this to try to make moves, I mean, I don't know if sometimes I get bored or what it is, but I want to make some moves. I want to do some scoops. Yeah. Always what happens when I buy, it drops. When I sell, it pumps. Just like that is. So if anybody's listening, if you need something to pump, let me know. I will sell it and it will pump for you.
I have something I want you to pump right now.
The show?
Yeah, pump the show. Pump the show. Tell them what we got on you today.
Awesome. I like that. That was I love, just really quick before we get into kind of what we got going on today in the show. I love if you listen to the last 3 weeks of the show, your segues are getting better and better and better.
Fantastic.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, man. All right. But anyway, today we're going to be talking on Newsbreak. We're going to talk about some mobile phone mining. It's on the way. It's coming Q2 2020, but is it going to be worth it? So we'll talk about that on Token Time. This top 3 coin is pumping. It is pumping right alongside of Bitcoin. For What You Thinkin, again, we're answering your questions. So please keep giving them to us and we'll pick the best one that we get. We'll answer that on air.
We got a good one today for a new person that wants to know, how do you invest in Bitcoin?
Oh, that's very good. hey, sometimes you just get back to the basics, right?
Absolutely.
Yep. So we'll have some good answers for you there. And then on Manspreading, we are going to discuss open flame cooking mediums. And if you don't know what that means, come back for Manspreading or stick through the whole show.
Absolutely, absolutely. So before we get too in-depth on the show, we do need to give a shout out to our show sponsor, Monarch Wallet. So the Beards and Bitcoins crypto podcast is brought to you by Monarch Wallet. Rule your own financial kingdom from the palm of your hand.
That is absolutely right, Ben. The team at Monarch, they are working hard to bring you the one app to access all the best crypto services from the palm of your hand. They believe in delivering tech, not hype.
With the universal decentralized Monarch Wallet, you can buy, store, spend, and earn crypto. With Monarch Pay, you can set up and accept recurring crypto payments.
Ooh, how nice. How nice. Well, if you need more information, make sure you check out monarchwallet.com or monarchtoken.io today.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got a special offer for you guys with crypto.com. If you guys visit mco.beards.live to sign up for a free crypto.com account, we both get a little chicken. Get a little chicken. We get to eat a little chicken. You get to eat a little chicken, Get $50 worth of chicken for free. So looking forward to seeing you guys sign up for that and get some free money. Let's jump into news break. News break.
All right. So HTC is coming out they've got their blockchain phone, right? And so they are actually launching an app in conjunction with, it's called the Deminer app, and it's being developed by Midas Labs. It's scheduled to launch Q2 of 2020. So coming up pretty soon here in just a few weeks. But there is going to be mobile mining right there on your phone. But the question is it even worth it?
Well, according to this article here, HTC's blockchain phone takes over a century to mine enough crypto to pay for itself.
Yeah, so that comes to like, I think the value is just like $1.38, something like that a year. Is if you got this thing running like all year long, that's what you're going to make. Doesn't really sound like a profitable. Well, I mean, it's better than nothing, but
that's saying though at the same time though that if the price were to stay the same where it's at right now, if the price goes to 100K and 10X's, hey, I'm gonna take 10 years to pay for that phone.
Well, that's true. Well, this is it mine's Monero. So that's what it's mining.
Okay.
But I think there's still, as
that's
Bitcoin rises,
it's mining Monero.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yep. So it said you could pay off the phone. You could actually pay off your phone in 170 years. Now that doesn't include any of the electricity costs or anything it costs to operate your phone, any kind of maintenance, all that stuff, obviously, whatever. But 170 years to pay off your phone if you just want to get it just to mine.
Cool. Will they set it up for 170 yearly payments?
Yes.
So when I go get the phone and be like, okay, I'll leave it $1.50 today, $150 deposit
for the rest of the term. Yeah. I mean, I think probably by the time we get to 2050, there's going to be some 2050, there'll be some magic pill that lets you live forever.
Very possibly. I would not rule that out by any stretch of the imagination. But how are they going to do population control?
Viruses.
Vaccine. But this is interesting because this brings up like a really like an argument that a lot of people are making about crypto, which is like micro transactions, like where you have like, let's say you have your cell phone, you have your computer browser, you have other wireless devices, your iPad, your iWatch, whatever. And all of these devices internally, since they're all on Wi-Fi, including things like maybe even your thermostat, are all working together to mine like little micro transactions. So you're just bringing in little fractions of Satoshis everywhere from all these different places. And I guess over time, like all of those together could give you a decent amount. Do you think that's a legit thing? I don't know.
I don't know if it is, but I'm sure it could be set up. And I mean, I think that I would probably take advantage of that if there was some kind of I don't want to say reward because the Satoshi is the reward for it, but I mean some kind of incentive for me to say, okay, yeah, I'll hook my house up. I think like isn't holochain, that's kind of like one of the fundamentals of what they work on, right? It's using computing power from people on the network to power stuff, right? And it's like
Yeah,
it's not blocked.
there's a few projects that are like that.
Okay.
Siacoin, it might be the one you're thinking of.
Maybe. Yeah. So I
Holochain
mean,
maybe also. I don't think Holochain is. I could be wrong. But Siacoin, we talked about that on the show. Maybe that's what you're thinking of.
maybe I'm just getting, there's so many projects I'm getting.
But maybe
confused.
Holochain is. I forgot. We see so many. It's funny. Like I'll look at a project and I'll be like, what does this project do exactly? And then I'll be like, I'll find a review 2 years ago on my channel of that project. And I'll be like, I don't remember anything about this project other than like it was fast or had a catchy logo.
Yeah, I mean, it stays relevant because it's one of those tokens that goes from like 4 to 5 satoshis. So every time it does it, it's like a 25% gain or whatever. So it's like, okay, like this shouldn't be newsworthy. Like keep this out of the gainers.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you were saying like so, something like Siacoin or some other projects.
If I could hook my house up to it, if I could use, because right now my oven and my thermostat are all Wi-Fi enabled. I got an app to control everything. Yeah, if they can use their extra power that while I'm not cooking anything in the oven, maybe while I don't have my air or my heat on, it's using the power that it has within its computer mainframe. Or that sounds like a nerd speak that I don't even know what I'm saying. So nerd alert. But I would sign up for that. I mean, I don't think that I would use my computers or my phone or my watch. But I would let my house do the mining stuff for sure.
Yeah, okay, so kind of I know you and I are pretty similar about stuff. Like, I just know, like, we like to spend money. We like to do things simple. Like, if there's something that can be done, or like, let's just pay for it and get somebody to do it, whatever it is, not like manly stuff you should be doing at home. But I just mean, like, in general, that's kind of our attitude about stuff. I just wonder if people from other countries, like third world countries, like India, certain countries in Africa, if they just have totally different perspectives of this. Because we look at microtransactions and we look at the amount that comes in from that, and we're like, that's nothing. But I got guys in my Telegram group that have $64 in crypto that think they're going to become millionaires from that. They think that's a huge amount of money, or equivalent to a millionaire in, their country. I mean, I understand $1 million is $1 million, but I just mean like, in America, like $1 million can still get you pretty far, but in other countries, $10,000 can get you far, so. Yeah,
that's an interesting comparison in how, microtransactions to some people are more equitable. It's like to some people, like they get excited about finding a penny on the street, whereas
exactly.
I wouldn't even pick it up.
No, not at all. I would struggle to pick $1 up. Like, no offense to people that love dollars, but
I don't need that dirty fiat.
Nah. Get out of that. So yeah, guys, that you guys are checking out our website before we move on here, because we want to let you guys know that we do have our 21 best Bitcoin practices guide. It's a PDF that'll help you if you're trying to get started in Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, absolutely free. All you got to do is head on over to beardsandbitcoins.com and just insert your email address on the little pop-up that'll come up, and you will get that for absolutely free. And you'll get our weekly newsletter, which is not us selling you stuff. It's just us telling you what the podcast's about every single week. So you guys are definitely going to want to check that out.
Yeah, when you're sitting on the throne one morning, it usually comes out on like Thursday or Friday morning. Yeah. While you're sitting on the throne, it's reading material, man.
Absolutely. You get that newsletter, and then you get to click and listen to the podcast straight from that. So definitely cool stuff. Well, speaking of sitting on the throne, in the next segment for Token Time, we have the number 2 most royal crypto of all. Let's check it out.
Token time.
All right, guys. So now for Token Time, we are going to be talking about Ethereum, aka. I don't know what that is. That sounded like that's also known as Alcoholics Anonymous or something.
Or also known as, with a stutter, also known as
Ethereum ETH. Make sure you got a good ETH dealer. You're definitely gonna want to find one, because that price is now $217 as of this recording.
Ooh, that's important.
It is.
That's important.
Why do you think these numbers for Bitcoin, like Ethereum 200 and then Bitcoin 8K, like why do you think these are important numbers for people to see the price at?
They've been heavy resistance just below, and it's been heavy resistance for quite some time, I think, and to like break through that resistance during a global pandemic while we're still in it, while we're still kind of being conscious of some of these things, and while we're still seeing the landscape of our society changing, to see these resistance levels kind of get broken, I think is a major thing, especially kind of in tandem, because usually it's Bitcoin and then you see Ethereum. But I think, Ethereum pumped last night, whereas Bitcoin's pumping today. So, or more today than it did last night. So
Yeah.
I think that's important that they're doing it together versus, number one first versus number two.
Yeah, I agree. I think these are psychological numbers. And what's really interesting is I almost feel like we have psychological numbers for those people that are in crypto, but then there's like a whole nother set of psychological numbers that's outside of crypto. I was just thinking recently about, back in 2017, when I was like preaching about Bitcoin and preaching about cryptocurrency, and people were saying it's a Ponzi scheme or it's this or it's that. And those people have been feeling pretty good over the last couple of years, by telling me that it was never going to be successful because it's gone down since then, and so it's almost like this like Chicken Little sky is falling, or like the boy who cried wolf thing is how I feel sometimes to my friends and family, because I'm like, no, you guys don't understand. Like, this is coming. I promise this is really happening, because I've been saying this for so many years. So like internally in the crypto community, like 200, 8,000, those are key numbers for us to get to when it comes to Ethereum and Bitcoin. But there's other numbers outside of that. Like for my friends and family to consider like Bitcoin not to have been a bubble, like it's gonna have to get to all-time highs. And that's when people will start really fumbling back in, I believe.
But why wouldn't you want, like, if you know about it, if you're like, well, I'm going to wait for it to get back to an all-time high before I get in, that just doesn't make sense.
Well, it's because they don't think it's ever going to get there.
Okay. All right. Okay.
They think this whole thing's a joke. Like I said to someone the other day, I was telling them about the Chinese cryptocurrency, which I mean is a pseudo crypto because it's nationalized. It's a national centralized crypto. But I was saying like, China is completely changing over to cryptocurrency for their, the way that they spend their yuan. It's going, to the digital yuan. And just a reminder, like I said on my channel, 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin, but 1 yuan equals 1 yuan. Sorry, I love that. Nobody else probably thinks that's funny but me. But and the person was like, really? Huh? I didn't know that. And like, there's this whole world going on that is, about crypto that we all are privy to, but your average person doesn't give a rip.
That's a good point. That is a good point. All right, let's bring it back to ETH.
Let's do it.
What do we know? Okay, what I think we should do sometime in the future is probably have Vitalik on the show if we can do it. I mean, we've had CZ on, we've had a number of big name guests. I think we should get Vitalik on here to talk to him. I think that would be very interesting. I'm not sure that I'm particularly. I like to laugh at all those pictures of him wearing unicorn shirts and picking his nose and wiping boogers on the wall.
Are we gonna slap the nerd alert on him while he's on the show?
100%.
You have to. I mean, Vitalik is the king of the nerds, right?
Dude.
I can't imagine
100%.
a nerdier person than Vitalik.
I'm like speechless because you're absolutely, there's nothing else to say.
I mean, who else would it be? But it'd be cool to have him on the show, I think. I get him on.
He's like a Russian Canadian,
nerd,
right?
and he embraces it. So I think you could joke around with him. I think he'd be fine with that.
Yeah. So if you know him, tell him to come on a show.
Yeah, let's get him on. Let's not get it on. Let's get him on. But what do you think? So I really think Ethereum has had quite the resurgence over the last year. I mean, I think there was a time where even though it was number 2, number 3, going back and forth with XRP, that I didn't really know if it was ever going to, I thought maybe some things were going to pass it. And now it's really turned back into this kind of world where it's Ethereum's world and everybody else is just living it.
I agree with you there. I mean, there was a period where it was kind of like, all right, Ethereum's on its way out. Like, yeah, it's number 2 because it's legacy and it built up that market cap from kind of the last bull run, but there's no way that it would sustain there because they weren't developing anything. Nothing new was coming out. I mean, the whole thing with like, I want to bring up CryptoKitties, but that was quite some time ago. I mean, just like destroying its network. It's like, okay, like what do you actually have? But I think in the last, year and a half, maybe 18 months or so, that's a year and a half.
Yeah,
little quick fact check on myself.
Let me check your math. It's correct.
That is correct, sir. I think that they've done a pretty good job. I mean, you see that they stayed pretty relevant with kind of some updates that come out and some things, but
all the decentralized finance things.
Yeah, the DeFi. I mean, to come out that was huge because that became a huge buzzword. At all the conferences before they all got shut down or went to virtual.
Yeah.
Lame.
Well, I think personally that Ethereum has a very bright future, but there was a time where all of these coins, Tron, Cardano, EOS, where they were all coming off of Ethereum's chain and starting their own chains. And it was like, okay, well, these projects are going to be the next Ethereum because now they're independent. I haven't seen any of these projects come close to Ethereum yet. None of them, not a single one. There were times where like, okay, their transactions are closed, their user base is closed, but just overall, nothing's been able to touch Ethereum, and I don't think it's probably going to.
I think it's a lost cause at that point, right? I mean,
Yeah, I
when you
think
look
so.
at when you go to a coin market cap, if you look at market caps, I mean, Bitcoin obviously, the king with $158 billion market cap. You got Ethereum with a $24 billion market cap. The next closest is XRP with 9.9. So, I mean, they're less than half, or they're more than half away from it.
Yeah. And you see what's happened with XRP. I mean, it's had a surge recently, but I mean, there was a time where it was number 2, and it actually passed Ethereum, and now Ethereum has really taken a stranglehold on that number 2 spot.
As it should. XRP is trash.
Oh, gosh. Well, if you want us to talk about your coin, tell them how they can do it, Jay.
Well, if you want us to talk about your coin, there's really one thing you got to do. You got to visit our Telegram channel, join it. It's t.me/beards and bitcoins. Come chat with us. Let us know what projects you want us to talk about. And hey, we may use it for the next token time segment. You never know.
Absolutely. All right. Well, let's check out a question from the audience.
What you thinking?
All right. So we got a question from the audience here. Jenny is going to ask us about what she can do as a college student to get into Bitcoin.
Hey guys, I'm a college student and I am wanting to invest in Bitcoin. Where do you think I should start?
All right. So you heard her, Jay. She wants to know how can she invest in Bitcoin? And this is a question I get all the time from people in real life and in my Telegram group on, crypto Twitter. A lot of people want to know, how do you invest in Bitcoin? Well, what do you think is the simplest way to tell them this?
I would say, and I think what you just said right there was super key, right? What's the simplest way? Because to bring most people over, especially if you're not tech savvy or really want to worry about a lot of the nuances of cryptocurrency and kind of the fear of buying, sending, storing, all that stuff while you are just getting into it. And if you're just going to buy little bits at a time, my best recommendation is to use the Cash App. It's super simple. Most college kids already have it because that's what they're using to send money back and forth to each other. Use the Cash App. I mean, you literally can just go on there, send money from your bank account to your Bitcoin, buy the Bitcoin, and then you just hold it there. And then as you learn, and if it's something you want to get into right away, it's so simple, so easy. So you can own Bitcoin, do it now before it goes crazy. And then, like most of us, you start to learn. It's an ongoing evolutionary process, learning about cryptocurrency, blockchain, all that stuff. So, I mean, in my opinion, fastest, easiest way is through the Cash App.
Yeah, it's definitely a learning process. I mean, you just continually learn things from me.
That's so true.
Well, to be fair, you have a real job.
Yeah, but I learned a lot about my crypto stuff from you. I mean, you're in this full time. You're in the game. You live this. I mean, we both live it. We've been doing it for a number of years. But it's your full time gig. I do have a day job that I got to focus on most of the time. Right now, it's really strange. Our industry is completely shut down, so I have more time to.
Yeah, long story there. If you've been listening to the podcast, you know what's going on with that. But yeah, so in all seriousness, though, I mean, that was kind of a joke. But the thing is I agree with you. I think the Cash App is the easiest way. Coinbase is another easy way if you want to buy things other than Bitcoin. Coinbase is a good way. The fees on Coinbase are kind of high. Cash App fees are, also not the lowest anymore. They used to be the lowest, but Binance US is a good place. You can get stuff, pretty cheap. Coinbase Pro is like a deeper layer than your normal Coinbase app you get on the App Store. So that's got really low fees. But I agree with you, Change, when you say, the important thing is to keep it simple. And so if you're a college student and you just want to ask me how do I invest in Bitcoin? Cash App is going to be the easy way to do it. Most of you already have it. It is, younger generation uses it, more than the older generation. But The other thing I want to say here that's really important is the biggest barrier I see to entry for your average college student to get into Bitcoin or cryptocurrency is that for some reason, because they haven't been educated at all on Bitcoin, they believe they have to buy a whole Bitcoin.
Oof. You
Yeah.
don't.
You
You
don't.
don't. There's 100 million Satoshis in one Bitcoin. You can buy as much or as little as you want.
Yeah. And I don't know if you can actually buy one sat. It's a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a penny. But
you're right. There are minimums, but
yeah, I mean, but you can buy $5, $10 worth or whatever. You can set up, automated buys on Coinbase, for instance, where you buy a certain amount every week or something like that. So you can buy $5 every week, and then over a year, it might start adding up, or whatever.
And do you want to know what that's called? If we're talking to new people, dollar cost averaging, right?
That's right, DCA.
DCA.
Yeah. There's some really cool apps out that, do DCA stuff for you, which, we may be talking about one of those on the podcast in the future. But you can do that automated. I don't know if you can do it through Cash App. I think you probably can. You can definitely do it through Coinbase.
You can, So I've got it set up every week. I do just an automatic deduction.
On Cash App?
Yeah, but you know what? It goes from my bank account into the cash, like the fiat section, and then from there I just go over and buy it. So that's how. I mean, there's no automatic buy Bitcoin that I've seen yet.
Yeah, there are some out there that are coming out that's going to make that even easier for people to dollar cost average in. But yeah, I'd say use a Cash App. Understand you don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin at one time, and I think that's going to set you on a good path for investing in Bitcoin. And importantly, very, very importantly, make sure that you are researching, and your research could just be listening to this podcast. If you're investing a minimal amount, then, you don't have to get sucked into the nerd stuff that somehow we find ourselves in every day. But, make sure that if you are investing a substantial amount of money, for sure, you want to, like maybe you're getting an inheritance or you're thinking about putting your college student loans into crypto, whatever it is. In that case, you're definitely going to want to make sure that you're researching and understanding the evolution of the space and things like that. I mean, just a great, for instance, is like, if you did no research at all, you just threw money in Bitcoin, then in 2017, when the price peaked, you wouldn't have taken any money out, and you would have ended up losing a bunch of money because you didn't know how to, sell your Bitcoin for cash or, get out of it or whatever. So there are some really simple things you're going to need to know how to do. So make sure that you're doing that. Buy it on Cash App. No, you don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin at a time, and do some research.
Ooh, and one other thing, really, if you're a college kid looking to get into Bitcoin, or if you don't have to be a college kid, if you're anybody just looking to get into cryptocurrency, head on over to our website, beardsandbitcoins.com. And right when you log in, there'll be a pop-up. Sign up for we already said this in the show, but again, sign up for the 21 Bitcoin Best Practices Guide. It literally is just a guide, whether you're a newbie or you've been in space. It's just some good things to remember. It's a good refresher to go over, kind of some really good solid steps to take to keep your assets and your investments safe.
Yeah, and if you head over to the website and you click Contact, or you visit ask.beards.live, you can ask us a question. You might get yours answered on air.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Nice. So
all right.
Let's heat it up real quick.
Manspreading.
All right, heating up we are doing. It is spring. I know it's probably warm where you are, man. It's we've been in the 80s and 90s for a few weeks. It has been perfect grilling season. You and I talked earlier this week. You told me you got a new grill.
Yeah, I did. I'm excited.
That's like one of the most exciting things anyone, especially a man like us, you can do. Like, that's how you set your summer off right. You got yourself a brand new grill. Now, let me ask you a question, because there's 3 ways that you can go about this. Did you go propane? Did you go hardwood? Or did you do charcoal?
I went propane. Hank Hill is my idol.
Nice.
Yeah. I love Hank Hill, okay? King of the Hill. He's real big on propane, okay? But in all seriousness, I think that for me, propane is just easier. You just, zoop, zoop, here it comes.
You flip, you twist, click, light, and cook. It's easy. I mean, now I understand that there will be some grilling maximalists that will say, it's a hardwood mixed blend with a little bit of charcoal, and you can't use any lighter fluid and yada yada yada. But come on, it's okay.
Let me tell a little story. I mean, this may not be funny to anybody else, but this to me, my whole life, this has stuck with me. So when I was a kid, my dad, my dad, big griller or whatever. And a better way to say that, my dad is a man like I am. Okay? So,
Yes.
Yes. My father and his father before him and his father before him.
Papa Bit Boy.
Yeah, that's it. Papa Bit Boy. When I was a kid, he went and bought a grill, and he went and bought this grill, and he bought a charcoal grill, and he brought it home. And I was living with my dad and I was visiting my dad's house on the weekends at that point. My parents were divorced or whatever. But so he was living in an apartment at that time with my stepmom, and they had the grill out back. And all I remember, right, I was probably 6 years old, is my dad just trying to get that grill going with the charcoal, and he could just never get it exactly right. And for years, I'm talking about for years after this, he would walk around every time it got time to grill. He said, "Should have got a gas grill. Should have got a gas grill. Should have got a gas grill. Should have got a gas grill." And my dad said that when I was a kid, probably 1,000 times. So I learned from that. I had a charcoal grill at one time, but I think gas is the way to go. I mean, we're living in 2020 here. Let's go ahead and take advantage of what we got. Ain't nobody got time for wood chips. Okay, I ain't got time for that.
I mean, like on the weekend, if I'm gonna use the smoker, that absolutely 100%. I can throw a little bit of wood in there, or some lump, whatever you got to throw in there to get the smoker going. But when it comes to grilling, I agree with you, man. I don't necessarily care for all of the smells of the lighter fluid and all the stuff that's associated with the charcoal. Plus, if you don't burn it off all the way, then you're going to cook that into your food, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, I there's a big distinction, in my opinion, between a smoker and a grill. Like the process you're going through. Like when you're grilling, like you sometimes just want to go grab some burgers to throw them on the grill. You know what I mean?
I don't want to spend 45 minutes getting the thing heated up to eat a burger that's going to take me 2 minutes.
Right. Now, if you're going to make a brisket, or you want to do like some catering, or you got family coming over, like, you know what? Pull out the smoker. That's okay. But I bought a Weber. So I feel like I did pretty good. This is the first Weber I've ever had. So I'm excited about that.
That's like the Cadillac or the Rolls Royce of grilling, man. Let me tell you, like the heat distribution is fantastic. The flame consistency. Oh, it's a great grill, man. You did well.
Well, let me tell you what the first thing I grilled on it was. Do you want to know?
You know what? That was, just so you know, that was my next question.
Okay. I've cooked one thing on
it. Shut up. Are you serious?
I made a TikTok video, put some Twinkies on that thing.
Did they ruin?
Unbelievably good.
Really?
Unbelievably good.
I could tell you it has probably been at least 15 years, probably, yeah, at least 15, maybe closer to 20 years since I've had a Twinkie. Because I'll be 38 tomorrow. So that means I was 18 when I graduated high school, right?
Yeah. 18 or 19.
Yeah. 18. I was 18 when I graduated. So that means, 20 years ago. More than 20 years ago, because I was probably a sophomore in high school, probably when I had a Twinkie.
Well, when I head out there to Austin and we're going to all those nice grilling spots and barbecue, whatever, I'm going to have to break out the grilled Twinkies for you.
Dude, let's smoke a Twinkie.
Smoke it?
Not like this smoke a Twinkie.
Not smoke a Twinkie. Yeah, no, but I mean, so I bought a grill. The reason why I went ahead and got the upgraded version, I got the Weber, because I went to Home Depot specifically to buy a grill in order to make TikTok videos with, like to grill like fun stuff on the grill,
Mm-hmm.
And I got there and I was like, it's time for me to just get a new grill, So I was like, you know what? I'm going to use it to make some TikTok videos. And in addition, I'm going to have the Cadillac so I can make the best meats. So that's why I got the Weber. So I got the Weber. I grilled out the Twinkies, and it turned like I kind of did it as a joke for TikTok. I didn't think they were going to be that great. But, man, they were so crisp on the outside. Believe it or not, it was really good. So this weekend, I'm going to be whipping out some maybe I should be this weekend. Out some meat, but this weekend, I'm going to be whipping out some meat.
Yikes.
What do you think the first meat I should cook on that thing should be?
Oh, probably flank steak.
Flank steak. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, give it a nice sear. Lock in those juices. Maybe do almost like a teriyaki type marinade. Ooh.
Yeah. Well, let's find out from our audience what their grilling setup looks like.
I think that's a great idea. Make sure that you check out our Twitter feed. We will post it after the show is live. Yeah, and it'll be a standard Twitter poll like we do every single week. So don't be afraid to join it. Don't be afraid to give us an answer. It doesn't cost you anything. It just lets us know what you're like.
Yeah, we want to know. Are you going to be grilling? Charcoal, wood, or propane? That's what we want to know.
So yeah, so visit our Twitter. It's in case you don't know, it's at Beards Bitcoins.
Absolutely. Can't wait to find out what you guys are grilling with. And please don't downgrade my man scale because I grilled a Twinkie first. Okay, we're going to be putting some good meat on it this weekend, and I'm going to be letting you guys know next week. Maybe we can touch base with how it turned out. I'm excited to cook.
Oh, picks or it didn't happen. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, pictures or it didn't happen. Absolutely. So, all right, guys. Well, that is it. Send us out, Jay.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Beards and Bitcoins Crypto Podcast. Every week, we're going to be bringing you news, information, and stories, fun stuff to spread awareness about cryptocurrency.
And if you guys enjoyed this episode, please visit ratethispodcast.com/beardsbitcoins to leave us a rating interview and also help us spread the word by sharing your favorite Beards and Bitcoins podcast episodes on social media. And I did also want to tell you guys that I will be sending out the $10 for the reviews on iTunes we've been talking about this month, either today or tomorrow. So you guys can be looking for those.
Yes, be on the lookout for that tomorrow. Wish me a happy birthday. It'll make my day because I will be at home alone.
Yeah.
And don't forget, visit our website, beardsandbitcoins.com. Join our Telegram group and come talk to us. Say hi. Ask us questions, and we'll answer them on air.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, that's another show. We will see you guys later.